Welcome back, everyday business leaders. I'm Melanie Ake, your host for today's show, coming to you from JP the Geek Studio right here in Greenwood, Indiana. I am thrilled to have you with us today. You're going to meet one of my great friends that helped us at Shortridge High School all year. Tamesha speaks. Tamesha Allen. You need to know her because if you have a student and you're looking for scholarships, you're looking for funding, you need to be educated about FAFSA. This is the girl you need to know. So get your journals out because we're going to connect to her remarkable brain. She does a lot of stuff in the community, podcasting, speaking. So please connect to her after the show. Remember, we are thinking and redefining the way we're trying to do things differently here in our communities. But remember to subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss one of our episodes. Are you ready to meet Tamesha? Here we go. Hi, Tamesha.
Hi, Melanie.
This is awesome.
I know. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really do appreciate it.
Girl, we've done so much together.
Yes, we have.
A lot. And we're going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
But today is about celebrating you.
Oh, thank you.
That's why you come in here.
I appreciate it.
That's why you're in this seat. Everything that you're doing to let you know you're seen, you're heard, you're loved.
Oh.
And we want to help you connect to even more people because from what I've learning from you this last year is students really need our help.
Yeah,
right?
They do.
Things have changed. Education's changed.
Ooh, yes. Boy, has it changed.
It has changed. And all that you're doing, I want you to be seen more. I want to raise the visibility. I want to give students access to the education that you can provide for them and their families. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Somebody give me a tissue.
Wait. Sometimes you just connect to people with their souls, and I think that's been our journey.
Yeah, it has. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you and your hubby, Joe, for the invitation because it really does mean a lot. You know, no man is an island and there is no I in team, but there is a me.
There is.
But I really do appreciate your sisterhood, your friendship, the love, support that you not only offer and extend to me, but also to a variety of communities that really do need, you know, to understand the meaning of leadership. What does it look like? Because it's not the same for everybody. So just to have that particular outlook, you know, and to pour back into the community really makes a difference.
Oh, well, It's fun when you get to do it with people that also have your heart and your vision to serve. Mm-hmm. And so I'm so excited that you're here today because, like I said, people really need to know all the things that are uncovered behind just the Tamesha Speaks platform.
Yeah.
You do so much.
Yeah.
It starts, one of the books I want to celebrate, The Impact of Influence, Kate Shipbaker.
Whoop, whoop. Volume 3.
We were in this together
yes.
a few years ago.
Yes, not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
And, you know, we initially met when Chip came, I think, a year before this Volume 3. Mm-hmm. And
it was Volume 1, wasn't it?
I think it was Volume 1, yes.
And we didn't even know anything about the impact
we
of
did
influence.
not. I did not even know. So when he had reached out and said, hey, I'm going to do all women's, I was like, oh yeah, all women's version. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's elevate this focus. Let's elevate this experience. So yeah, I was excited. And I met Chip through another mutual friend, Dr. John Turner. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he kind of just plugged us in and connected us, and we've been friends since then. So it's been an amazing experience.
It has been. Sometimes I always say those moments where you walk into those rooms and you go, wait, that's when I met you?
Yeah.
And then everything else changed, right?
That's
it was
true.
Like, hey, we need to do more stuff in the community together.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And I want to encourage people, if you have been in a collaboration book like this, so there were 18 women in this. Most of them, I would say that I've done things with, I've worked with, I've been in their groups, I've talked to them. We've tried to do projects together. And living in the same community, if you have been in a project like this and you haven't done that, you're really missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the person that brings people together, right?
Yeah,
has that
very much so.
That feeling of like there's a bond here. People are doing things to really create this community. So thanks for saying yes to this.
Absolutely. I know, right? Absolutely. But I appreciate, our continuation of building our network together. So it doesn't necessarily have to stop at one particular point. I know that we all view collaboration and partnerships differently, but community building, it really does speak for itself when you have genuine people in your corner. So it does make a huge difference, and it provides a huge impact, because you never know who you're going to be encouraging and inspiring around you. And with our project that we're going to talk a little bit about at Shortridge, this year, 2023-2024, has been rewarding. It has been exciting. We've shed some tears. We've had some laughter. We've had it all. But, I'm a woman of faith, and to God be the glory for just allowing us to be used as his vessels. So it makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference because, again, when you see people for who they are and you see their heart. And I remember last end of summer, actually, I reached out to you about this time. And I said, hey, Tamesha, what are you doing? And you said, what's going on? And then I told you about this project that was laid in my lap. And I said, Tamesha, my brand is Everyday Leaders.
Right.
And you said, keep talking. And I said, well, I need to serve, and I need the right people to come along with me. And you said yes. You didn't hesitate. You said, how can I help?
Yeah.
And so we served at Shortridge 180 days.
Yes. We did.
With a brief intro of like, this is the program.
Right. Yeah.
But I have to just say how much I appreciate your heart and your consistency and your professionalism and your commitment, just everything to serve, because what you do, your heart is to really help elevate community. And so walking into that was like, we didn't know what to expect. We knew kind of the parameters, and the girls really needed us to elevate them as leaders and to help them elevate themselves.
Yeah.
And it took a team. It took a village.
Right. True.
It took a village.
It did. A couple of villages. There's a couple of villages out there.
But that was a big project.
It was.
So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Right? We did it.
Yeah, we did.
We did it.
Shortridge is my old stomping ground, if you will. So I attended Shortridge when it was a middle school. And initially, a little bit of history, it started out as a high school. And then it became a middle school, and then it went back to a high school. So it was a privilege and honor to join forces with you on this project, Girls Talk. And and it was a phenomenal experience, because it really gave me the opportunity to pour back into the girls, but knowing what to pour into them, because they all come from different walks of life, like everybody, right? Our backgrounds are different, our cultures are different. So we wanted to ensure that they had an exceptional experience as well. So we dealt with a lot, but we also encouraged, a lot as well. And we made sure that they were on the right track from start to finish. And even in between. Because there was a lot of in between moments.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. There was. And so, but having the two different schedules and having to understand how a school system works when you're not inside of the school system, right? That was a lot of our getting to the point where we could communicate to a level that, was helpful. There were so many obstacles that we overcame. And at any time, as leaders, we could have said, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But none of us did. We said, all right, let's get this done, because it was for other people, right? It was for the girls. It was for the school. And so I just, I love you so much, because it was at a moment in your life where we're never going to forget.
Right.
Yeah.
Will not
forget. But you have way more tolerance, I will say, for the process and the system of being inside of the high schools.
Yeah.
So you taught me a lot. And, you know, we always say when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yeah.
I love that. However, when you also need mentors to teach you something new in your life, I think that's what God brings to you. So what I learned from you is you are in this space. You're heavily in this space. It's your profession.
It is my profession. And I wake up every day with joy to be able to walk in this space. I do. And that's not to say that every day is perfect, but I do try to find something perfect in each day. You know, so in saying that, it's something that really, it allows me to be myself unapologetically, you know, to be authentic, to create my own space at the table, because we know that young people, youth and young adults, need funding for school. And it's hard. And I always use this analogy that financial aid and academics, they are married together. Like, you can't have one without the other. So when you go into certain spaces such as Girls Talk, and we have projects and programming that will teach them how to grow and develop from a holistic view, it does. It just brings a smile to my face. Like, I can't, if the audience can see me, they be like, oh yeah, she really does love what she does. I do. I can't, I will never break away from it. Like, even when it's time for me to quote unquote retire, I really don't like that word retirement. But when it's time, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But that, I got a ways before that even takes place.
Well, you know, athletes, right? Scholars that are athletes talk about being a student athlete, student first.
Yes.
And then athlete, because you may be gifted in something, but you have to show up. You have to study so that you can get those scholarships.
Right.
You really lead people through all the confusing information, clarity.
Yes.
How do you get the right scholarships? What are the grants that are available? How do you get the parents on board for the kids to help them be a part of that solution? Because there's a lot of information out there. Lilly Scholars Network is a part of what you are connected to be able to say, hey, this is another opportunity, right? How many kids do you work with? And I know there's, you know, many. But I just want to say, like, the awareness piece, right? When you take them from the level of, I had no idea that this was even an option, to now I have a path.
Yeah, that's it. So I want us to, you know, kind of break down the definition, because it's not just about scholarships. It's also about just financial aid from a holistic view. Like, what is financial aid? You know, usually when students, they go to the financial aid office and they say, I'm here to check on my financial aid. Are you here to check on your FAFSA, your student loan, your scholarship, your grant? You know, is your employer funding your education? Are you paying out of pocket? Because there's so many different layers. And I think for me, the one thing that I really zoom in on is from the parental perspective, is knowing what is out there. Because we're living in a time where a lot of these teenagers, guys, just want to be informative, that they're like, hey, I just want to go to school, you know, or is college for me? And if college is not for you, is a 2-year degree for you, or is a certification for you, or do you want to, you know, be enlisted in the Army, and how does that work? And will they pay for your school there? And so it's just so many different options. I think we have to define first. And of course, I just kind of gave a little snippet, but it really is a deep dive of, okay, it's a plethora of resources out there. Which one do I tap into? You know, so that's where I basically start. So, for example, when a parent books me for a consultation, it'll be, sometimes it's a parent by themselves or a parent and their scholar, and they say, hey, we just need help. We don't know where to begin. Can you ignite us? Can you enlighten us? Because sometimes scholars are like, I ain't really about this. I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like writing no essay. I don't feel like doing the application. It's just too much. And I will be honest, Melanie, and say that financial aid is tedious. It's very tedious, but it's doable. If you do it in phases, you will not regret it. You will not be disappointed. Yeah.
What's your biggest surprise from when you maybe started this journey and said, I love doing this. I love serving families about this. Like, was there an aha moment when you thought everybody has to know that this is available?
Yes. I remember for me, when I began to work with families in general and serving underrepresented and underprivileged students and families, it really did allow me to say, okay, y'all really don't know. This is new it's foreign to you all. Okay, so then how do we take this on piece by piece and address whatever barriers? Because sometimes it's not the application. Sometimes it's the fear of filling out, the follow-up or checking upon the status or writing the essay, because some scholars are love to write and they're English majors and some are not, so it's like really addressing those barriers and understanding, hey, listen, you got to get over this fear. I think that was like another aha moment for me. Is like, oh my goodness, so many scholars are not applying. You're leaving all this money on the table. So much money on the table. Well, I'm not going to apply because so-and-so is going to apply. And I don't want to be competitive in that nature. Listen, whatever is for you, it is for you. And it's enough to go around. It's enough.
That is one of the, I think people forget. They think there's one scholarship, and if I can't get that one, then forget it.
Yeah.
But like you've educated me.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, people need to know this.
Yes.
Because every kid may have that $250, that $1,000 grant, some resource that just may come that's new this year, right? So everything is updated every year, and you don't know unless you have someone like you that is tapped in.
Yeah, absolutely. And even as leaders, let's talking to all the scholars out there, right? When you lead well. And that's one of my favorite quotes that I say, as a leader, because it's not about being perfect, but it's really about allowing yourself opportunity to grow and develop in whatever space that you are called to be in. And as a scholar, you want to ensure that you are bringing your 100% every single time, whether it be in your academics, whether it be in your community, whether it be in your church, even your home, on the job, in an internship, whatever it is that you are doing, you want to make sure that you're bringing your A game all the time, because you never know who's watching. You don't know what opportunity is. Sometimes I know we're waiting for somebody to knock on the door, but hey, listen, I tell scholars all the time, forget somebody building a door for you. You build your own door. Like, stop waiting for somebody to knock on your door of opportunity. No, you go to the door. You go to the opportunity and say, introduce yourself. What is your 30-second introduction?
Right. Hi, I'm Melanie Ake, founder of Everyday Leaders, and I'm excited to share with you a new training resource for your team called the Leadership Game. The Leadership Game is a tool. It's administered exclusively by John Maxwell team members. And when you bring this assessment tool in to lead your organization, it shows you the current level of your leadership and gives you tangible and actionable results to move forward. So don't delay. Get in the game, the Leadership Game, exclusively from Everyday Leaders. Right.
So it makes a big difference. And that's all a part of leadership.
But you coach them too. You give them, you can see maybe what they have as a connected opportunity for a scholarship. And that's what I love. And so people may not even know, like, your position as kind of this coach consultant.
Yes.
To help them get through the weeds, not have fear, get rid of the doubt.
Yes.
Connect to the purpose, scholarship, and then get them on the right track.
Yes, absolutely. And that makes, for me, it just brings joy to my heart. And it makes me feel like I have my sense of purpose that I'm operating in every single day. Because believe it or not, as we stated before, financial aid has different layers in which I address them all. And one of them is scholarship programs. A lot of scholarship programs require you to be a leader, you know, and to share your leadership experiences in the spaces that you have led in, because that is important. It's not just about making the grades anymore. Right.
So what kind of things would you recommend? Like somebody comes to you and says, hey, Tamesha, I don't even know if this even qualifies, but I do volunteer at church, or I work at a summer camp, or what are some of the things to consider for maybe some of the families that are listening to say, maybe my student should be looking into more of the scholarships available?
Yeah. I think the first thing is, let's identify where you want to go. Self-identity is key. You got to know what you want to do first before you even start the process, because life is a process. So let's start there. Let's talk about, what do I want to do? Because you'd be surprised. A lot of scholars, they change their major like 5 times before they even land on the 6th one or the 7th one. But on average, for me, I changed my major 4 times. So it really is a matter of, let's start at the very beginning. What do I even want to do? What skills do I have? And then work from there. Because if not, you don't want to be seeming like you're all over the place. And then it just brings up more confusion. So therefore, when you do enter into, I don't know, an institution of your interest, and they're like, what do you want to do? I don't really know. So that would be the initial starting point, is thinking about what it is. What do I want to retire from? You know, what do I want to do? What area of expertise do I want to really tap into?
I think for kids today, do you feel like post-COVID?
Yes.
So we'll just kind of take this pre-COVID, post-COVID.
Right.
Post-COVID, do you think kids are more clear than they were?
No. They're all about influence. So I want to be a social media influencer. I want to learn about all the tech stuff.
Well,
we got AI now.
You don't need to go to school for that.
You don't need to go to school. Pull up your own YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with having a following, but what do you have to fall back on? In fact, not fall back, fall forward. What do you have to move forward in? Because it's great to be a social media influencer and to know all the latest games and to understand all the latest technology, but you still have to learn that knowledge from somewhere. Now, I get it. What's this, Gen Z, right? Yeah, so they learn everything on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and what's that other one? It's so many different platforms. Like, there's another platform out there. And I'm just like, okay, guys, I understand. I get it, you know. And yeah, you one of my friends, she has a teenage daughter. She says, oh, girl, she learned this on YouTube University. I said, y'all didn't give YouTube another name. Sheesh.
But it is true, right? It is so different. And so how do you, like John Maxwell says, right? How do you keep up to keep up? Because if you're not keeping up, you're going to fall way behind.
Yeah, you are.
So what do you think the capacity is for us as mentors, as leaders, to help this next alpha generation, right? They're being raised, and they're going to be influenced by things that we've never really even thought about because, you know, I had a typewriter when I went to college.
Oh my goodness. I'm from the IBM generation. Floppy disk.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The ones that you wave, you know, and then stick right back into the drive. Yeah. So I think the number one way to keep up is to really take a strategic plan of action on what area you really want to zoom in. And I say this because it's okay to have all of these platforms, right? But which one is really going to benefit you more? Because we're living in a time where I'm so sorry, the sense of entitlement is big with the generation currently, but they have access to so much. So in a sense, it's not really their fault.
It just happens.
Yeah, it kind of like fell in their laps. So they're like, well, it's my time, my moment, and I'm going to do whatever it is I need to do in order to make $1 million in a day, or to have a following or go viral. And here we are.
Well, if you think back, and if you were 17 again,
oh man, those were
right?
the days.
And you had access to everything that you do now, and you had the confidence to know, like, hey, I want to go in this direction, but I could make a lot of money if I just did the things that I see my friends doing.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's really hard, right? And so Simon Sinek teaches we don't have that brain capacity really until we're 25. And we're letting kids like make really life-changing decisions at 17 and 18 with not a lot of guidance and not a lot of real truth behind making those decisions. So it's hard. Yeah. It's really hard for us to say, we could help you.
Yeah, no, right? You're absolutely right.
And we need to. And we just step in and say, yeah, you may have more influence, but we
have more knowledge.
We have more knowledge.
Exactly.
We have more knowledge, and we can help you. Yeah. For the future.
Right.
Yeah.
And financial aid is only one piece of the pie. You have student life, you have your academics, you have the whole admission process, you have all of the various organizations. I mean, it's life on and off campus. It's network building, community building. And I want to say there's a difference in between a network and a community, if you will. I think we kind of intermingle the two, but it really is a big difference. The community is more so less the village. You know, the people that want to see you win, take you to another place, take you higher, strategically position you in spaces and places that you've never been before. Networking is saying, okay, you're an associate, you're a colleague, you know, you're an acquaintance. So I always share with scholars that it's okay to have both, and it's also okay to have different relationships. You're not going to have every single type of relationship in one space. That's dangerous, for one. And for two, it really does not help because it limits your accessibility. And then some people may be out there thinking like, okay, well, what does that even mean? So I have a network, and then I have a community, and then I have friends, then I have acquaintances and associates. An acquaintance and associate is two different things, because an acquaintance is somebody that I may say, hey, how you doing? I may come across them ever so often. An associate, I might reach out, you know, every now and again and say, hey, let's meet up for coffee. Let's meet up for lunch. So I think there is a big difference in understanding the type of levels of relationships, because I'm going to tell you right now that I share with all scholars and families and parents, get what you need to get when it comes to your collegiate experience. You go to school, get what you need to get, so therefore when you are done, you can thrive in whatever area that you chose to thrive in.
And those are where you're going to make your networks, build your community, have your influence, not necessarily, and it can be on social media still, even in school. But I think building community, real community, you know, rolling up your sleeves, doing that volunteer work, doing that community work is really where your heart starts to grow. And that's where you start to get clear on how it is you can really make an impact. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with social media. Tying it all in together is the key, I think, to building that fabric.
Yeah, I agree. I also think getting out of your own way, because sometimes we want to take full control, people. But we have to get out of our own ways, you know, and just allow God to be God, if you will. And sometimes we want to just be here, there, and everywhere. And you can't do that. Do not overly commit and underdeliver. You know, you want to make sure that whatever area that you are focusing on, that you do that. For example, I can't be an educator, a firefighter, a police officer, a lawyer, a doctor. No, we all have our niche. And we should lean into that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Girl, Impact of Influence.
Yeah.
You heard it right here.
Volume 3.
This is the Impact of Influence lady.
Yeah, one of them.
Talk to us about, excuse me, all the things that you're doing. Talk to me about the podcast. You speak.
Oh, yay.
You're traveling. You're doing camps. Tell me a little bit about the rest of who Tamesha Speaks. When we find your website, tameshaspeaks.com, tell us what all people can find you doing. How can we connect to you?
Yeah, so I'm on most of the platforms. So you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram. And of course, tameshaspeaks.com. I also, of course, as you know, I am a podcast co-host and content creator. And that is educationisthekeypod.com. So we created this space for our educators, our scholars, our families to address critical issues in the minority demographic. And it's really, it's been enlightening. And it's also been, you know, just, I want to say inspiring too, because my two other co-hosts bring something addition to the table. You know, so we have fun, but we also address critical issues that does impact everyone from every single angle. And I think it's so important to be in that space and to provide concrete, not only tools, but also conversation that will teach, motivate, and strengthen our scholars, our families, our educators, our administration, everyone that has a role in the realm of education. Because education is not just about a degree on the wall. You know, I think there's a misconception. Oh, I'm educated. I have a degree. Well, I know a whole lot of people out there that got a degree and don't know do not know how to hold a intellectual conversation. I'm over here fumbling myself. What is going on? So, as Tamesha Speaks, not only do I speak to the education perspective, but I also speak to women, youth, and young adults. I'm an inspirational speaker, so I love to go and speak at conferences and organizations, and I host workshops. Sometimes I even do my own virtual sessions just to kind of invite people into that space and kind of learn and grow. Not only about financial aid, although financial aid is my expertise, right? But I recently spoke to a women's group at a women's brunch that we had, and I gave them, you know, this title called Level Up. And there was 3 points that I spoke to: be inspired, be determined, and be you. So it was so enlightening because it was so many different women who received what was taking place at that time. You know, there were women that came in that was burdened. There were women that came in that was excited. There were women that came in that was tired. You know, and you just never know what people are walking through the door with. And I always say this: if you can put a smile on somebody's face, you've done exactly what you're supposed to do that day.
That was your purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love to speak, though. It's rewarding. It is rewarding. Yeah.
Well, your heart is huge. I love having you here. I want you to come back.
Oh, yay.
Please come back. Say you'll come back.
Of course I will come back.
Well, because I want to stay updated on all the things that you're doing. And I know things always change with all the topics that we need to keep people updated on.
Yeah. And, file your FAFSA if you haven't already, please. Thank you. Yes, it's very important. And know when the move-in date is for your scholars, you know, freshman week. Those things are important. And if they're at home during the summer, there's nothing wrong with finding a part-time summer job or an internship. You know, some of the things that you should be doing now to prepare to go back to school, because school, for those that are athletes, report back at the end of the month. Those that are moving in maybe a little later, you might need to continue to network with the school and see what are next steps, what it is that you need to do. So therefore, when you do move in August, you know exactly how to go ahead and hit the ground running.
Don't drop the ball, right?
Please don't.
Yeah.
Don't, please. And scholarships and grants are year-round funding, so don't hesitate to please apply. I cannot say that enough. Don't be fearful. It's okay. But that's aid that's year-round. Mm-hmm. I mean, scholarships are offered all the time.
And you have you can sign up for your subscription.
My subscription.
Yes,
so monthly subscription. Yes, absolutely. So that monthly subscription will be going out tomorrow. Super excited. Got some new funding opportunities out there. And go ahead and apply.
Yeah, that's awesome. So really, if you have not listened to this episode enough and heard, go to TameshaSpeaks.com. Yes, go back to that website. I know Joe's been showing it the whole time, but what we want you to do is take your education in your own hands. Find out about the resources that are available. Find someone that can help you, like Tamesha, if it's not Tamesha. But you need to go to TameshaSpeaks.com and get connected. Absolutely. Because you can resource people even if you can't help them, you can resource them to some area to guide them.
Yes, and I offer, of course, 30-minute consultations. I can come and speak to your school, your college, your organization. I offer workshops. Absolutely. I can be a keynote, whatever it is that you
are
need.
The resource.
Yeah.
You are the resource.
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck. I know it's right in the middle of summer, so
it is. Oh my goodness!
I want to wish you having a great summer. Just like
that, only have like 2 weeks.
Go get some lemonade. No, it's great. It's awesome to be your friend. It's awesome to be your colleague, and just doing life together. It's really awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And I know that this is going to grow even bigger beyond your wildest dreams.
Girls.
Because this here, Melanie, is amazing. If you all can see what I can see, I'm like, I am in her podcast space, and it is beautiful.
We're having fun, right?
We are having fun.
Yeah,
I love it. I love the artwork on the wall. She has all the books set up. It's just really cool.
We're good. We're doing it.
It's cool.
We're doing it. It's fun. So we will have her back. Stay tuned for all the things that are happening, especially the Impact of Influence Volume 8, I think, just came out.
Yes.
So what a community. Maybe we have to start doing a little volume here.
Hey, listen, I love that. Let's do it.
So, but really, go to TameshaSpeaks.com. I am really excited because I think what I've seen you do, turning kids around, turning families around, all the effort that you put into educating is so important. And I wish I had somebody like you when I was going to school. So,
thank you. Well, I'm a scholarship recipient myself. 21st Century Scholars. I'm actually a part of the founding class.
That's awesome.
I won't say how old I am.
You're not that old.
But
You're not that old.
But it was a blessing because I knew nothing about it during that time. At the time that those funds were awarded. So
until somebody makes you aware.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So cool.
Thank you.
So cool.
So much.
All right. Well, we are super excited. We thank you for tuning in today. This has been awesome.
Thank you. It's been an honor.
I really hope that you were inspired as much as I was, because my heart just again got a little bit softer for Tamesha. I love her. I really want you to check her website out. Start to follow her, because she will help you think differently about your life, about business, about things that you may need to help her get involved in the community. Because remember, the journey of growth and innovation, it never ends. And it's our job and mission to keep bringing you the best from our local community. Stay tuned for more episodes filled with wisdom, innovation, and inspiration. This is Melanie Ake signing off from JP the Geek Studio, where they say better IT service is just a call away. They say own it, secure it, and protect it. Until next time, don't forget, subscribe to our channel and turn those notifications on so you never miss an episode. Everyday Leaders helps you to develop strategies to be a better leader in your life. Because remember, it's not what you do in a day, it's what you do every day that makes the most impact. Thanks for following.